We're getting it on here on a Trippin' Tuesday, ain't we? Oh my goodness, I tell you, it's been like wow and awesome. And as I've been just barging you with the tunage, man, I've been watching this amazing sunrise spread across the valley below down there, and my heart's just been aglow, and I've been in the flow of just this rockin' reality. You know, it's like this sunrise in particular bringing something here today that energetically has just been increasing monumentally as the sun approaches us across the valley floor. See, I live over here on the east side of the valley up against the mountains, so I'm one of the last places to get the sun. It spreads way across the valley. That valley's about 60 miles wide down below me there. You know, way across that valley and right back up here to the mountain, man, you know, so we get to see the Sangre de Cristo on the San Juan Mountains way to the west over there in the early morning, because they always got a little frosty cloud above them, and that little cloud always has that Sangre de Cristo glow, and oh my goodness, it just gets you in the flow, man. It reassures you, just like the rainbow, that life is real. And it's rocking, and here's the deal, babies. And it's about to get a whole lot more real. Yeah, 'cause we're in that stage. What is it, April? Let us out of the cage here in April, babies. The egg hatches out. And there's the Easter bunny, and it's kind of funny because it looks just like you, doesn't it? You're cute with fuzzy ears, man. Oh, and trippy eyes, too, man. Look, they're kind of a beige blue, golden, too. Yeah, man, and when you look into them, your heart just melts. And you can't help yourself, man. You become an angelic presence, even if you were the most dynamic SOB ever to be. You look into those eyes and you just melt naturally into the biggest love bunny there could ever be. That's what I mean by hatching out here in April, man. See, we're all coming back to life in that way, that metaphorical way, but it's a very real one. And it's every bit as comedic as all that, too, man. Because you're not going to believe it. As it happens to you, it happens to others, too. And some of these insignificant places, all of a sudden, are going to grow honest faces. And you won't believe the traces across their eyes as they try to stifle the words, but they can't. They just come bursting forward from the heart, man. And the media just falls over dead, and I mean, everybody goes out of their head and says, wow, maybe we can live in a truthful reality after all. Because you're going to hear some real interesting confessions about what's been going on here in the background. Not just politically. I mean, America's such a monkey truck anyway. You know what I mean? Oh, my goodness. What a farce. But anyway, beautifully so, though. And now we just unravel it, don't you know? Because we all wake up, see? The medicine show gets on with the bunny hop. Don't you know? And some of them bunnies sitting on nests like old hens trying to hatch out some more, don't you know? That's a party, babies, at our place. You see, that's our reality. That's our coyote way. That's our coyote medicine on a Trippin' Tuesday, to see the life that as the trip that it is, man, and see yourself as the star that you are. And baby, you share that star with everybody else. You get them all shining, in other words, just by being in yourself, man. So, man, if you feel like you're hanging out there in the dark glow, well, light it up, babies. And how do you light it up? Well, same way we do, man. You catch on, you get the joke, son. It's a joke, son, don't you say? Talking to the sunlight inside of you when I say sun, too. Like old Rooster Cogburn there. What was his name? Shoot, that's John Wayne. I don't want... who was that? That old cartoon character. Foghorn Leghorn, that's it. It's a joke, son. It's a joke. Don't you get it? Now I'm going to have to find another little outtake somewhere so I can play that along with Bugs Bunny and, you know, Elmer Fudd every now and then, and Rocket J Squirrel, man. Well, there's nothing in this life like Rocket J Squirrel, and each one of us are a super squirrel in our own right, and every bit as brilliant as Bullwinkle in our stupidity. How about that, man? You know, that simple life that's real, you know. That's the deal you get out of such satirical characterizations as that, because they reflect back to us our reality, our truth, in a coyote sort of way. That's why I love Rocky and Bullwinkle and Boris and Natasha, too. She's so deliciously evil. Oh, man, if she walked in my door, I'd melt down, too, man. You know, it'd be just like looking into your eyes again, man. Oh, Boy, Natalia, oh, wow, guys. Can I have your autograph? Right here on my, well, yeah, anyway. Grandpa's kind of a DOM every now and then, ain't he? But in a comical sort of way. I love y'all, and shoot, I never mean any of the ladies harm, man. I can't help it if I look at you and all I see is charm and wit and beauty and truth and light and love and respect for life. And, you know, wow, man, I'm melting down again, and how there it goes, you know. Like that old man on the bench in Laughing so long ago. Most of you guys don't even know what Laughing is. It was a show on the TV back in the 70s, early 70s if I remember right. Goldie Hawn got her start there. That's how good it was, man. Shoot. And there was this old man there. I think Artie Johnson played the part. But he'd sit on a park bench and, you know, he couldn't hardly talk. He was so old and worn out, you know. And some beautiful lady would walk by and he would just fall over on the bench, you know, very slowly though, you know, very slow and purposely going, oh, you know, like that. That's what I do. That's my DOM. It just passes up in the reality of the love and truth of the human heart I see displayed before me. You know, sometimes I feel that way about myself to a certain extent, not like I would for a lady, you know, but in an appreciative way, you betcha. I love the blossom of life in everything, even inside of my sorry old hide, you know, old and rusty as it's getting, baby. Well, I think it's about to get a rehab, you know. I think it goes with the formula a bit better, because otherwise we're all wore out. You know, I'll have to get a retread or something, and that's pretty harsh. I want a rehab, not a retread. How about you, Ed? Hey, Joni, what do you think? No retread. See, everybody, we just want a rehab, you know. That's like, you know, factory refurbished, man, you know, brought back to life because you had a little glitch or two in you that the factory didn't see on the way out. Now we get you on the way back in, tune you right back up, and oh, my goodness. You're the dragster across the sky, your mother's apple in her eye, man. I mean, you know, her little heart in motion. Mama loves you, babies. All across this sea of humanity and this great ocean of love that we express as the collective heart of one sweet love in motion. And there's your unity of nations and tribes and all of it right there, babies. Let your heart make it clear. Stick around. Be here, man. Let's take it to the next level right now, okay? That's what I thought you'd say. And how? Here on this Coyote Medicine Show, Grandpa Coyote getting you in the flow on what? A Trippin' Tuesday. Talk about a wake-up call. Whew. Heart and soul, baby, heart and soul. Clink, clink, clink all the way around. Don't forget who's hanging out on this side of town. Grandpa. The fat old love hound. Woof, woof. Oh, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, too. He's under the blankies again. I froze his butt off out there a few minutes ago. Left him out for about 5 minutes too long. Poor kid. I got to go over and snuggle him up a little bit, make him feel more better about his life, so he'll come back to life as my assistant DJ. You got Coyote Love, medicine for your heart and soul, musically and so much more, here on the Hazy Radio Network. Glowing like the sunrise, and this is the Sunrise Surprise, babies. More to go on the Medicine Show Hangout, babies. Ooh, a lot of fun here. Getting it cleared. Oh, yeah, hold on to it every way you possibly can. So says the old man from the old tin can up here in the Rocky Mountain High, helping all of us take off and fly with some tunage, makes your heart so large, and musical therapy that sets you free, embracing it all and just wanting to be what we truthfully are, babies. Yes, indeedy. Coming home to our ever-loving heart, because that's the place where all of this starts. You see, we've been there, done that. We've been over the hill and back again and round until we felt like we were living upside down, and by golly, we found out we were, didn't we? But now the tune has changed. The rock has become roll. The music's coming forward from your heart and soul. You dig it right out of me, babies. This list is full and free, and whatever it is you need to hear here in that coyote way comes playing through me right away, too, eh? You see, we're in tune with one another's hearts in a very real way, man, you know. And as such, we're here not to burden but bless one another. Pull one another up or push one another down if you need it to be. No way. It's always upward mobility. It's always expansive. It's always just blossoming from inside of us out into creation. That's how we work here, babies. All the rest has been created as an illusionary experience by our own heart. The one universal heart inside of each self that lives. It's such a coyote thing, you know. So now, if you embrace them, the burdens become blessings because nobody hates you. Everybody loves you. That's just the way it is. You know why? Because we're all in love with life. We cling to it as if, you know, death would be a terrible thing. We fear death, fear the reaper. Oh my. So we cling to our life and say, ooh, you know, this is the way to be, even though we never quite catch on till we start to sing the heart song. In other words, get in tune with our own heart. Because, see, that's the adjustment that every human being, no matter who you are, where you're at, is going through right now. It's time to tune in and be the living heart of love in creation that we are, and quit this silly screwing around with any lesser illusion. You see, this dissolves away governmental mystery. This dissolves away, you know, any hostility in the reality, because we realize what? Inside of ourselves, the unity with everything that is. A living presence. A life that's alive and conscious in its presence. I don't know how many of you saw that picture I posted a while back over on FB there. Gotta make fun of it a little bit. But there was that innocent child looking out from an ever-glowing heart, you know. And that's the reality of each and every being that lives here. It put it in a metaphorical way, symbolic way, yeah, but real is all get out, too. Because that's the way we live. That's who we are. And the illusion is that we live in any lesser state than that or any more state than that. Can't be. There's only one state. And that's the presence of the heart in creation. The children of love in motion according to the flow of the ocean of the mother love that created us in the first place. And nurtures us through all of our illusions of pain, heartache, distress, dishonor. Oh, geez. Come on, guys. Wake up and fly right. Get some coffee in you right now. Some spiritual stuff, you know. Brewed on the fires of hell, man. Roasted just right. And now it tastes like paradise. Oh, goodness gracious. That is so nice. There really isn't, you know, altitude brings gratitude. As simple as that. Because, you know, even though you're old like me and your taster's kind of wore out, you know, there's still nothing like that taste of that sip of hot, fresh coffee. Right out of the drip brewer or right off the campfire, either one, however it comes to you, man. It's a little difficult to take in some cafes these days because dirty dishwater has become coffee in a lot of places. But I gotta say that, and you know, in general, and speaking of coffee and waking up, of course, the degree and quality of coffee, when I last traveled across the USA, it's been a few years now, but was definitely headed toward an area of improvement. Where the dirty dishwater was the acceptable illusion. I mean, you know, real cruddy coffee. Well, wasn't so anymore. People were getting a little finicky about it because, you know, there was Starbucks everywhere and all kinds of little mom and pops that did coffee, including me there for a while. I had a little Campfire Coffee store. That was fun. Ooh, the musical heart and soul came together there and counterbalanced some really treacherous energy on the other end of that funny little town I located it in. I say I very loosely because I had a partner then, yeah. So it was both of us that did it. But, you know, a unified heart can really, even if you disagree on a lot of things, you know, a unified heart can really, really be powerful. In a tiny little place like that, that Campfire Coffee became a legend in that town. And it wasn't because our coffee was so great, but it was good. You know, we got the best we could, and always ground it fresh, never let it get stale, never let it burn down, never, 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 never. You know, everything was, you know, top quality there and top notch if I could arrange it, man, or as close to it as I could get, you know. Wow. I mean, it was Oklahoma, but there's good coffee everywhere, lots of it. So we always had the greatest, you know, and I'll never forget this one humble young man came up from the city, old Gary, and brought us up his formula for the Campfire Coffee, and it was just perfect. And so we finally found a good local source. Quite frankly, I'd been buying my coffee out of Colorado before that because that's where the good coffee was. You know, we all knew that, you know. But here was a guy in Oklahoma City. He's still in business, little different venue, but wow, rocking down, man, some of the greatest coffee. But see, that was just to draw you in there. But the reality was the music. Friday night jams, open jams, all comers, man. You know, and we got them from all over the map as well as all over the creation around that little town in Oklahoma we were playing in. And man, I tell you what, the music that rose up off of those, because we had a tiny little place, most of it was outside on the sidewalk, you know, but in the winter we'd bring it indoors. We'd somehow fit it all in this tiny little space we had. But man alive, I mean, we had some legends playing there, some unknown and some of the best known, but just come in, you know, impromptu, man. A lot of pass-through musicians going to and from the folk festivals here and there and the rock festivals and so forth. And they'd fall in on a Friday night if they happened to be in the area, or sometimes on any night. You never knew what kind of music was going to be there, but you knew there's going to be some sometime, you know. That, wow, it's pretty amazing, you know. And then there was these incredible times when they'd be filming movies in that town. And I'd stay open all night long because they worked all night long on these crazy movies they were filming there. And provide, you know, coffee to the stars, man. Musical repertoire to go along with it. Not that I sung them a little song, but it was like the song of my heart in each cup of coffee I put out there. I'd whip them up just right. Some of them, I was a legend in L.A. then because the movie actors and crews really liked the coffee, and they all wanted me to come down to L.A. Some of them were ready to finance it. I told them I couldn't do it. But they wanted me to come down to L.A. and open a shop down there. It would have been fun, too. But, ooh, I can't do L.A. Not full time. It's a party town. It's good to hang around, but it's good to get away from, too, man. You're so hemmed in down there, you know, wow. Ocean on one side and a desert on the other and about 20 gazillion people, all of them driving cars and trucks and buses and shit, you know, and just getting in your way, you know. It's just crazy. So it's not the way I can live. It's just too crowded for me. I'd rather live in those, if I'm going to live in a crowded place, I'm going to live up in the city in the sky where everybody gets along and we're all angelic presences and we all love each other. Oh, that could be what we're bringing to life right here today on this Trippin' Tuesday. Speaking of coffee and waking up, eh? See, coming back into life in kind of a poetic and comical sort of way. The way we call the coyote, which is the way of the trickster, but really not in the sense that it's trick, you know, an evil kind of trick or something like, you know, some people have a lot of negative connotations with the coyote. They don't understand that medicine. It's understanding the flow of life, really. You know, it's figuring it out finally, and you don't have to figure it. It just unfigures in you as you start to catch on. See, as your heart opens and you start to hear that song arise inside and start to see your place in creation, you see how crazy it ever was that we lived this way, that we ever let go of our heart and gave it up for a grander cause in any way. Yet we did. I mean, in the world of illusion, we lived that way. And we created a harsh life for everyone. Oh, God, the poverty of the heart and soul here, let alone of the physical presence, you know. The absence, the coldness, the lack of care. I mean, and just about anybody and everybody had it, and then we could show it too, man. It's the one side we didn't like to deal with, so we kept it, well, most people, some people just says, what the hell, I'm going to be it, you know. But we all had our part to play. It's okay. See, because we can come out of that rage now, because there's nothing to be upset about anymore. There never really was, you know. I mean, we were kind of tricked into it when we were kids by some pretty harsh circumstances sometimes, yeah. fact, most in every case is pretty harsh. Some are just harsher than others in the terms of experience. In other words, some are a little more intense. But it clobbers you just the same, and your heart goes out the window kind of for a while. Yet you manage to retain a whole bunch of it. Look how many sweet children you know nowadays. If you get around at all, you run into little kids, and they're just such pleasant little surprises these days. Such innocent and knowing eyes. There's like a little Buddha inside every one of them, you know. I mean, even those that wouldn't seem that way. You just look at them. That's what I see. You know, a little hard in motion, but a brilliant, ancient, wise one that's really been seasoned through the generations of time and knows that its place is now and it's here to expound upon this planet. As these children grow, baby, everything changes, everything. Well, it is anyway, but these guys are the harbingers of it. They're the ones, the creators of the new life. And the rest of us that got it here, we just got to stand out of the way and let these babies take over. That's our real truth, babies. Just let these little children arise and empower themselves. Empower them, you know. Little Regina down the street, who's only 7 years old, should be president now. Yeah, hell yeah, and Queen of England too, and the Pope, and whatever it is that's over the Muslims over there. I don't even know what they call it, the Holy Lama or something. No, that's Hindu. But anyway, wherever it is, let it just be her. You know, that young one, that alive one, that innocent one, that reality that we be. I call her Sweet Mary J, because that's what reminds me of the mother most, is the young girl, the innocent one. Before all the guile and stuff enters into it, before it gets to be a game. When it's innocent and it's just feelings, and you're just starting to get used to them, learning how they pull you. So it's a childlike thing, and because you act in innocence, nothing really in that time can harm you. That you're doing anyway. Others around you now, ooh, there's some rectifying of some energies there, isn't there? But that's okay too. You know, we went through our childhood as a rough experience, so these children of today don't have to live that way. They can just come and get their natural inheritance, which is what? A peaceful place of being, and they become the very stewards of the planet. And the rest of us, well, we've got our missions here too, but you know, we're given in creation to be what we are, and we go do that too, you know what I mean? Mother Earth is like giving herself the birth of paradise now. A feeling, knowing, alive, awakened place. We see the evidence in the skies around us, in the earth around us too, changes. I mean, there's snow in the Caribbean. What does that tell you, babies? I mean, for the first time in forever. Well, that's partly because the earth has shifted. About 20 degrees on her axis so far, as I can tell. Now, that's just my opinion. I got nothing scientific to back it up, but I look out in the night sky, and that's what I see. Things have moved in their positions in the sky, and if you're honest with yourself, that's what you'll see. If you can even see the sky. I know a lot of you live in the city where there ain't much sky left at night, is there? Yeah. But that's all right. We feel it just the same, because we're living in all of it, you know, and preparing the way. And this is why we're doing it today, in this way, the Trippin' Tuesday, to prepare for these youngsters to step right up to the plate and take this show on the road and show us how it's done. Because we have to let it go to the innocent one. We do. You know, we've done the seasoning, now they can bring it on through. So you could call it a passing of the baton, kind of. But it really isn't. It's just acknowledgement of the natural flow and of the way things go. You see, the center of all religion really is a heart of gold. One that intends all creation to live peacefully within itself. That's what each and every one of them try to express in some way. All have a different vision of it, yes. But even in those is the acknowledgement of the truth, of the innocent child alive inside of all of us. And see, quite naturally, as we awaken to ours inside, then outside of ourselves, these children arise, because we empower them by empowering ourselves to be alive in that child, to see the flow of our life as that innocent one does. We're just experimenting with these feelings and emotions and words and activities here, at least so far. Now we get the results of our experiments in, and guess what? It's quite rewarding. We've really discovered a lot about ourselves and about behaviors and the characteristic of the heart that always carries us through, no matter how trying the times may have been. You see, we're sturdy little children just like that, you know. You know how kids can fall down and get kicked by a horse and, you know, fall out of a tree. And it might break a bone or two. They heal quick, and you'd hardly know it a few months later, you know. But basically, they're bulletproof, you know. Basically, they're made out of rubber, man, and they just, you know, they don't get hurt the way us older folks would if we took a tumble like that, you know. It's amazing, the resilience, see. That's the nature of innocence and the automatic protection that's built into it. Just a little demonstration of it, a shadow of truth. See, and if we allow our child to be, then that child can allow itself to be. In other words, instead of taking away from it and trying to re-educate it into the ways of this world, let it show you what this world is. When I say it, I'm being very loose, trying to describe a non-genderized term, you know. Because, you know, the mother is in the father's in the mother, the son is the father, the sky as well. You see, it's all joined, it's all united in this bright, brilliant little, let's say 9-year-old child, just right there at the peak of blossoming. But knowing the truth, still hadn't let go of it. Something happened in your life, this young lady's life, that she could hang on to it. You know, stubborn little thing too, in the ways of love and the ways of truth. And wouldn't give up, wouldn't surrender to the adults around her. And now those adults surrender to her. Remember we rose the surrender flag yesterday, golden glittery white? You betcha. Well, that's the surrender. The adult world gives up its illusion. It never grew up. It just thought it did. It's still that child. Pretty injured by it all in a way, but very blessed by the injury of it too. Out of the fertile life of experience comes the blossoming flower of gracious love in motion. Because we know how it is to be without it, don't we? It's kind of like having lived on the streets. Been treated very gently despite all of that, but having lived on the streets, you come to know a deep appreciation for having a little hubby hole to hang out in as your own, man. It's like, you know, everybody needs a little nest, you know. Well, here's the nest of the heart, coming forward as innocent as it can possibly be. It is time now to empower the child, to allow that child to be alive inside of you and me, but especially in the reality around us. You see, trust the children, they know, and they won't lie to you. Well, basically, you know what I mean? We're still all adjusting in, even the children, to this new perception which is older than anything you see created around you. This is real life. This is the life as it is lived from the beginning and to the end. The alpha, the omega, and the alpha beta store down the street, too. It's always Coyote, don't you see? Children would see it that way. That's the Coyote humor. It's a childlike thing. Remember all the innocent little songs you used to sing that were so naughty when you were a kid? Especially if you were in a scouting environment or some little gangster club of some sort or another. You all had a bunch of funny ways of seeing and saying and singing about things, didn't we, you know? But it's so damn innocent. It's funnier than hell now to look back and see it. You know, what it really meant, you didn't really realize. You were just singing a song that sounded kind of naughty, and you liked it, you know. I mean, it's a childlike thing. See, so it's a return to the presence of the innocent heart. We let go of the knowing to know and to be in everything, to know everything as a living presence in ourselves. And then we're not in need of an education. The education's in just living it. and learning to grow with it and flow with it and be it in the way the mother love would have us always be. That's the Rocky Mountain way. That's the way of the heart of gold. It is the center of all, each and every one of us. And you can describe it as you will. Forgive me if my description of it as a mother energy in some way offends you. I know we all have our beliefs, but understand the basic love that I'm talking about. The pure gold of love, which is the golden heart of love, which of course is the sun and the mother joined as one, earth and sky together, and kind of an end to the illusion of spatial reality, which we call time. So some of us will see it as a caving in of the universe around us. It's just coming in on us. As the earth turns on her axis and points her fanny towards the sunny side of things and starts to absorb the real life of her energy. See, it's like a changing of the lens through which we see life. As she moves literally in physicality, we move with her. And our vision changes too, the vision of the sky, the vision of our heart in motion. And what seems impossible in this moment, in the next moment is real. And the child does arise. See, that's the Mother Earth. In the child. The replication of Mother Earth in the child. We still have that. As I say, adults surrender now to the reality of the child, because we never grew up anyway. So we got to go back to that point of beginning, and the child does arise to take us that way. It's always been said, little child will lead him. Well, what the heck? There you are. The child's inside of you first and foremost. They're awaiting your arrival, you see. Babies, we love you so. Here's a toke to keep you in the flow. Help you expand into it a little more, from Grandpa Coyote, the grandfather love, in the old heart of motion. Daddy to some of you, so there. And Grandpappy to most, and also to myself too, because, you know, as the children of life in this day and age, all of us have been here before, so we are our own grandchildren. The dynasty of love. It's so coyote, ain't it? Tripping Tuesday. What did Jack and Jill go up the hill for? They said to get a pail of water. Well, yeah, you know what they went up there for. Some abundant love. And then she brought some water along later on so they could wash up and have a good time later, too. But then he tumbled down, broke his crown, and she came tumbling after. But guess what? When they got to the bottom of the hill, they found out they were still alive and not hurt. Hell, they just had a fun time giggling and rolling down the old grass knoll, man. Don't you know? That's humanity's story right there in a nutshell, baby. Hey, and that's a wishing well up there, by the way. And if you pitched a penny, you're going to get plenty.